2, James Goldie and Macaulay Jones' career best performance.
Good morning, everybody. Happy race day. It's kind of coming up on 8 here in Chicago. Saturday morning. Sonsio Grand Prix is running later today, so I'm about to hit the road for Indianapolis. I've got about a 3-hour drive ahead of me, so the plan is to look for parking in the neighborhood behind Georgetown Road, either on the street or in somebody's driveway, and then head into the track and enjoy some racing. So yeah, gonna get rolling here in a few minutes and checking from the road.
Stop. Yeah, he does it really early. I think it's like lap 7.
It's lap 7, which seems too early. Like he's gonna have to go into fuel save to make it. All right, folks, we are on the way to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's a beautiful day on I-65, driving through central Indiana. And I want to talk about the race a little bit. I think we're in for a really good one today. Let's start with strategy. So IndyCar made a rule change for this race, and I believe every road course race going forwards, where now, rather than just having to use each compound of tire once, you've got to use both the primary and the option twice. So 4 stints no matter what, 3 stints no matter what, 3 stops no matter what. And we'll see what that does to this race. You know, this has always been a 3-stop race anyways, so it's not going to add another, otherwise unneeded pit stop from a fuel standpoint. But I think it is going to change the complexion a little bit, because in the past, like last year, for example, last year was a red tire race. And so, the predominant strategy, I think, was to just start on the black tires where it made sense. And then, when the pit stop window opens on lap 10, come in there or thereabouts. Don't go any further than you have to on the red tire. And then do 3 stints on the black tire to get to the end. So I expect people to try something similar, in that I expect people to try coming in right when the first stop window opens on lap 10. I'm assuming that you can still do about 25 on fuel, even with the hybrid this year. I don't know if that's going to affect fuel mileage that much, but I think also what we'll probably see is, if it's a red tire race again, people will want to maximize their red tire stints. So, that would mean 2 full 25 lap stints on the red tire, running the fuel tank dry. And then if you divide up the remainder of the race, that leaves 1 17 lap stint on the black, and then another 18 lap stint on the black tire. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think there's still a lot of opportunity for variance. We know the undercut is really strong, particularly on the first pit stop window. If you pit at the leading edge of the window and get clean air for a few laps and fresh tires, you can make up a ton of time. So we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be interesting. I don't know. It's hard to say if this new tire rule is going to help the racing, or if it's going to hurt it, or if it's just kind of going to be neutral, a non-factor. But we'll see. Yeah, let's talk about the drivers too. So Palou obviously captured the pole. He's been on a tear this year, as we all know. And he put the car on pole by 0.4 of a second. He won this race last year. He's always been good here. I think it's going to be another Alex Palou day. I think if he gets away clean with the lead after the first corner in the first lap, he could be 30 seconds out in front by the end of this thing. I think there is very high opportunity for the drivers starting around him to get him going into lap 1 and drop him to 2nd or 3rd. And in that case, I wouldn't be surprised if he just kind of sits in line and bides his time until the 1st or 2nd round of stops, and tries to make the move for the lead on an overcut or undercut rather than on track itself. And in that case, I think he still wins the race by over 10 seconds, like 12 to 15 seconds. The Rahal team looked really strong in qualifying. You've got Graham Rahal starting 2nd, and we know he's good here. We know he can perform here. He almost won a couple years ago Basically had the entire field covered except Dixon, who was on an alternate strategy. Louis Foster, another really, really incredible qualifying run. He rolls off in third. To be honest, I don't see him fighting for a top 3 this race. I think he's going to, I think top 5 is more reasonable, maybe top 10. I just think with the lack of IndyCar experience, it's tough to convert the qualifying pace to race pace for 3 pit stops and 85 laps of racing. But that tells me that he's got a lot of talent, and if you can qualify up front, you may not convert those to top 3s, top 5s early on, but eventually, that'll convert to race pace. And then Devlin DeFrancesco, the third Rahal car, is starting 5th, the same place he started when he made that crazy move.
McLaren's now 4-wide Devlin DeFrancesco, baby, all the way to the lead from his career best start. He's side by side with Rahal, and Dev takes the point.
To take the lead in this race 2 years ago, I think. So that'll be an interesting one. I also kind of expect him to fade. I don't know that, he's qualified well in the past, but it doesn't always translate to race pace. But I think Graham will hang around up there. But I mean, if you look at the guys starting around these Rahal cars that they're going to have to beat to stay up there, you've got the Penske's all right there. You've got McLaughlin starting right up there with these guys. Power is always fast in this race. And then, when you've got some of these guys who are uncharacteristically starting towards the front, that means you've got guys who are starting uncharacteristically middle or back pack. So I look at 12th through 14th. I think that's Rosenqvist, Herta, Lundgaard, and Armstrong. All 4 of those guys are very, very strong on this track. Lundgaard tends to qualify up front, so we'll see what he can do from a mid-pack starting spot. We've seen Herta, fly through the field in this race before. So, and I think he's got 3 sets of sticker reds. So he's got 1 more than he needs. And then Lundgaard, well, I don't know. I think we'll just have to see what those guys can do. Simpson's another guy that has my eye. He had a great run in Barber last weekend. He's got another great starting position this weekend in 10th. I remember him looking very strong in the first stint of this race last year. I think the first couple stints, actually, he was right around the top 10. So, I'll be watching to see if he could stay up there and maybe get a top 10 finish. Dixon is all the way back in 16th. We know he's going to be coming through the field. VK all the way back in 24th. That's a surprise coming off his race at Barber, and starting all the way back in 24th is a little surprising. I expected him to be in the Fast 12, to be honest. So, he's always fun to watch, particularly when he's got a lot of guys in front of him and he's in a position to try to make some passes on track. Overall, I'm really excited to see an IndyCar race. I haven't been to one yet this year. My hope is that we get another yellow-free race and it's just fast, clean, flag to flag. It seems unlikely, but you never know. It's definitely not impossible. This is a race where that tends to happen. So yeah, can't wait to get to the track. I'll take some footage while I'm there, and then we'll debrief on the drive home.
Quick, 11th on the chart, and this.
Legend. Will Pack.
Start your engines! And just like that,
Simpson didn't start.
on the inside of that bright yellow machine, up to the gears, the green flag waves, and the Sonsio Grand Prix is on. As below has the jump on the inside. Rahal trying to fan out a little bit. Here we are in turn number 1.
Oh, Rahal.
Everybody's okay. Here we are now, turn number 4. Still struggling out the track. 1.1 second lead.
Very impressive by Rahal.
Devlin DeFrancesco with a nice move on the start as well to get to third. Louis Foster fourth. Scott McLaughlin fifth. Caught
already set up in the pits down there. We'll see who it winds up being.
No matter how you cut it, it's a 3-stop race.
Lap 14, probably somebody on primary.
It's the alternates.
There's our answer, VK.
And
primary's off, red tires on.
The pit lane, having made the
Clean
first
air.
move to the pit road, what I'd call a scheduled stop in this black sidewall primaries.
Some more guys in for to get off the black tires. Looks like they're going blacks to reds.
Kyle Kirkwood.
Yeah, they were both running in 20 and 21st positions. Let's go down to DJ.
DeFrancesco closed in on Blow. That's a surprise. Lap 17.
Enthusiasm and effort within the team. And he is pressing Alex Palou for second.
Yeah, he missed the race last year. Pop out.
Not that time.
Let's go down.
Back in traffic, but it looks like Rossi was able to cover
Tires,
off
yeah, black tires.
safely. So it's Rahal, DeFrancesco, McLaughlin, top 4, top 5, rounded out by Marcus Armstrong. Waiting to see and the leader, Grant Rahal, looking down the pit lane to his first start.
When it comes to decision time.
So that's VK in front of Rasmussen, I believe. Here's the blend.
Robert Schwartzman in for the Prema
Looks like
team.
Blow's gonna blow DeFrancesco away.
Schwartzman, another one who got precious little practice for his first time ever at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course
Yeah,
in
no
racing
contest.
conditions.
Stingray versus Newgarden.
Running in second. All the others around
There's
him
Graham
started on the
stretching it.
Firestone Reds.
Lap 21. Blow's on the undercut right now.
On the video boards. The race
McLaughlin
leader,
also stretching it on the blacks. Let's see if he goes all the way to lap 25. 21.
Collins right now in sixth position. He is the first of the cars to have a pit stop as Louis Buster gets into it there in turn 1 with
Rahal is from the lead. Can he hold it, or is Blow gonna jump him?
Couple of turns on the front wing. Graham Rahal, a little bit slow getting away. It almost stalled as he got up and going.
Well, that was close. You're right. He did almost stall it. Oh, so close.
He's gonna hold the lead.
Here comes Palou off of 14 down the main straightaway. Rahal still along pit lane.
Come on, Graham. Get out there.
Here he comes. Here comes Palou. Turn 1.
It's gonna be close though. Graham's on cold tires. How about McLaughlin? Overcut up to third.
Felix Rosenquist underneath Marcus Armstrong for a spot. That's for 13th and 14th. Armstrong just giving up the race lead in the cycle of stops. Division pit road. He's back at 14th now, just behind his teammate. Down. Marcus Ericsson and
27,
Kevin
still really
Simpson
tight
are
up
both
front.
out of the race in 26th and 27th.
2, 3, 4, all right together. Rosenquist trying to recover from a spin. Devlin's starting the race red. The last 2 stints are going to be on blacks. We are technically in the fuel window at lap 35. Palou is right there.
Let's check that lead. It was 3/10 of a second last time. Now it's up to 5/10.
Scott Gardner's falling nearly 2 seconds off of 22 on the lead lap. 25 still running, just 2 out of the race. Marcus Ericsson and Kevin Simpson never got stopped.
BK the first one in again. Second stop.
Stops and BK with a set of Firestone.
End of lap 37, beginning of lap 38.
Harder tire.
It's going to have some nice clean air.
Nice work by that team to get VK in and out in a hurry.
Just get one of these guys that's going to pit first. Get some clean air. Out from behind Abel.
Chasing Abel.
McLaughlin first of the leaders to come in.
Marking right there.
This guy's getting held up by Abel.
Guard for that pass-through
Lap
penalty.
41.
All right, here we go. The top two coming in. Oh, it's a direct extended to turn number 1. Rahal. And below, Rahal's got him.
Rahal's got it.
Rahal's out of the pits first.
Where's McLaughlin?
By the team to get
There's
in and
McLaughlin.
out.
Here's that all in
Behind Herta.
for those two, though, as Herta gets in between. On pit road along with Devlin DiFrancesco.
Herta's trying to unlap himself. Around below, Rahal holds the lead.
That is
He's still followed there by Palou.
Rahal's got to stretch his lead. Palou's going to have the better tire for the last chance. Same with McLaughlin by the looks of it. Lap 44.
The race leader for the moment, Marcus Armstrong. Heavy on the brakes, heavy on the binders. Devlin DiFrancesco having some challenges.
There's Rusty. Alexander Lawson here back to 11th and 12th positions.
Herta.
Pointed out back in 11th.
For this weekend's race.
Rahal's not able to extend the lead at all.
As we mentioned, he's out to 7th. Main straightaway. Rahal's lead is almost 1 second now. Last time they go to the backstretch.
There you go.
Turn number 7 under braking for that race lead.
Oh, got it. Only a matter of time.
Oh, makes the move for the race lead in turn number 7 on 28 laps to go.
Ricks and Alex Palou will officially retake the lead
There
of the
he
race with 27 laps to go. And look at the gap he's put on
He's about to pull out a huge lead.
1.3 seconds already. Palou shot out of a cannon to take the lead. 1.3 second lead on Rahal.
As on the final racing
And around Herta. See you later.
back on a half-second lead in 2 laps.
See ya. 6, 7, 8. Foster 10th.
Yeah, he's strong. For
Final
second.
stops underway. Lap 62.
Rahal's going to hit from
Rahal first,
second.
leaders.
It'll be 22 laps to go in his race.
Well, might get some traffic.
Meanwhile, Palou cruising. Let's go down to DJ.
I bet Palou comes in this lap. That traffic in front of him. McLaughlin's going to beat Rahal. Out. There's McLaughlin on the reds. Rahal after the slow stop.
Second place on that last exchange of pit stops right there.
Still showing second, 10 seconds back. 20.
There you go. Alex Palou, last stop of
20
the
laps to
day.
go in the race. Stop for 3. We'll see where he comes out
Here he comes.
in relation to those other front
Big
runners.
lead.
But I tell you, it's going to be a big lead because
Oh,
Ward
yeah.
just crossed the yard of bricks, and there's already Palou back onto the speedway in turn 1 and 2.
He's really
Lord Power, nice stop. McLaughlin's back to 4th.
on the board. Alex Palou.
Rahal's all the way back to 5th.
6 to the backstretch.
So Palou makes that last pit stop without giving up the lead for a green flag pit stop. And it was one of the
Nice
last
race from O'Ward so far.
to get in. He'll get back.
Big lead.
The show's belonging to Alex
19 to go.
Palou. 8-second
Seconds.
lead.
Great final stop.
The lead is 8 seconds for Alex Palou.
And there's left at turn.
Full course yellow.
And the first before they can take home
Comes the
another
restart.
trophy.
Well, let's watch him as the pace car pulls away. Here comes the 10 leading the field. Turns 13 and 14, the green flag waves, and here we go. Green flag. Let's see if Pato tries to make a move. He looks to the inside, maybe to the outside. No, Palou's got it right now. Is that Dixon making a move up the nose? Pato said, no, not happening here.
All you can do is...
1.7 seconds is the lead, almost double his lead in one lap.
So the big fight here in the heavy braking zone is going to be from 7th place on back.
The man who's dominating the race.
Driving through Lafayette, Indiana on my way home from the Grand Prix. Tell you what, man, that was an awesome race. I had a great time today. An absolute masterclass from Alex Palou. I mean, I think we all saw this coming, right? Graham Rahal did an amazing job to take the lead and hold Palou off for those first couple stints to keep him behind on track and during the pit stops and everything. But it's like, dude, the whole time you could just tell that it was only a matter of time before Palou took the lead. I thought it was going to be in the last round of stops, but he didn't even need to wait that long. He did it on track. And to be honest, without that full course yellow, I think Palou still, even having only gotten the lead, you know, on like lap 57, I think he still could have won the race by like 30 seconds if he didn't get that yellow. So, pretty cool to see. I mean, my initial impression right now is I kind of hope he wins the Indy 500, or at least is there in contention. That's a race that you want to see the best of the best win, and Alex Palou is the best of the best right now. So we'll see what he can do when we get to the Oval in a couple days. O'Ward, Will Power, second, third. These guys put in great races as well. Kind of bided their time early and stopped on the leading edge of the final window to make up some spots. McLaughlin had a good race. He was stalking for a while. I thought he might wind up on the podium. And Dixon was incredible today, man. He had a great start. He was up 4 on the initial start alone from what I remember. And, you know, making up spots on the pit cycles, passing people on track. I thought he put in a pretty incredible race to wind up 6th. Armstrong also came forward. Who else we got on there? Kirkwood and VK were both pitting on the leading edge of the window and made up a ton of spots doing that. Kirkwood winds up 8th, VK 9th. Rosenquist recovered to 10th remarkably from having that spin. Yeah, as far as strategy goes too, the new tire rule, I don't know that it added much. To be honest, it almost felt like it handcuffed everybody a little bit. There was, you know, everybody wanted to maximize the red tire stints, so rather than doing one really short black tire stint and 3 really long ones, everybody kind of did 2 medium black tire stints and 2 slightly longer, but still maybe medium length, like maybe not fully stretching the fuel tank. 25 laps on the reds. So it closed up the pit windows a little bit, and I don't think that added much. In fact, it felt like maybe it detracted a little bit, but yeah, we'll have to see what it does in the next couple races if they keep this rule around. But I really enjoyed this race, man. It was great to be back at the Speedway, great to see an IndyCar race. It was a slow burn at times. I mean, there were definitely probably a handful of laps leading up to each pit cycle where we were kind of just waiting for the pit cycles to arrive, and everybody was sort of wearing their tires out and setting up for the next stint. But yeah, awesome day. Make sure you check out the IndyCar Fan Podcast that me and my dad do. It's called the IndyCar Fan Podcast. We'll have a full post-race rundown. We're going to record on Monday night. We should have it out later this week, and then obviously we'll have, after 500 qualifying, we will have our our Indy 500 pre-race episode. That is my favorite podcast episode of the year. And then we'll break down the Indy 500. And yeah, if you've never heard of the podcast before, we just kind of dissect every IndyCar race with our lap charts, our sector times, our pit stop summaries, and everything. We gather all the data that IndyCar gives us, and we rebuild the race from start to finish, stint by stint, stop by stop. So it should be a good one. They're always a little bit better when you get to see the race in person, and you know, you're not handcuffed to what TV shows you and what you can pick up on timing and scoring. You actually get to see every car, every lap. So, all right. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this, and give the IndyCar Fan Podcast a listen, and we'll talk to you soon.